Well, good morning, YouTube. It's a new day. As I mentioned before, my blades just were not getting the job done. So, I wound up getting new blades. I also bought my 2x6s and I got better fasteners. Trying to get all this, make this work a lot easier for me and better and everything. So the first thing I'll do is take this board back off and try to remount it. I still don't think it's the best it could be. Also, when the screws I bought came with the correct type nut driver instead of using the bit holder. The holder's not really made for that. I did that without knocking the camera over. I forgot to bring my screw over here. Naturally. There we go. Oh, there we are. I'm also going to go down inside the crawl space and screw this up from the bottom. That way I can get my get the screw in more straighter, better, all the above, so it can hopefully close that gap up. Oops, I'll hit you. Hope it didn't hurt. I'm sure glad these things ain't any closer. I'm skinny, but not a lot of room in here. There we go. see there's still gaps. This board's a little bit warped, so I'm going to get 2 more screws and put them in the top and pull it down. Alright, it's a lot better. Yeah, we've had one more. I got plenty of trees. So much better. All right. So these are considered bimetal blades. Couldn't find carbide, but it's got a really aggressive blade on it, so hopefully that'll work better. They're proud of them though, like everything else anymore. Oh, and it's designed for clean wood, so no nail embedding. Oh, gotta turn my hearing aids off. Alright, here we go. Works a lot better. I stopped. I just saw a nail that I didn't remove. It won't cut nails. Well, it's cutting pretty good. It's seems to be very, not 100% perfect, but it's really close. When I get done, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference really. So like a slight low spot here, but all this is good so far, and all this is good. Maybe a little bit there, but all right. So this package came with 3 blades. I got 4 boards to do, and so Each blade has to do 1 1/3 board, so I hope they last long. I'd hate to go back to the store just for one more blade. Got to move my step stool down. Alright, I got one spot done. And I like the way it feels. Only little spot I had was right there, so it'll be okay. Alright. Here's where that wire got drawn through. There's also a nail there, but I can lay it beside that nail. Should be okay. But so I gotta make that flatter. Alright. Over here. So I gotta take that board off, obviously. As you can see, nothing supporting that edge. So I'm going to cut some boards, whatever that length needs to be, and run them perpendicular and tie it all together. So I think 4 should be enough. I think it's only not even quite 5 foot. So let's get this board out here. When I cut these, I've also got to cut a notch out. So it's going to be the 3/8 that I cut off of here and 3/4 inch, because in these spots here I have to recess the plywood so it's flush with the edge I cut. It broke. Hopefully it's on the other side. Does look like it. Oh, quit. Yeah, I think it gapped, so maybe I'll have to have a pair of pliers to get them out though. Yeah, remember I said this gap was smaller? Yeah, that little bit of difference has made it harder on my drill because it just didn't have that extra ½ inch or whatever it is of room. Alright, she's out. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's over here. Of course, just my luck. I remember reusing this board. It's going to be one of my boards that gets down here. So, but for now, let's just move it out of the way. Something I'm going to do first. That piece of plywood that I cut out here, I'm going to grab it. I want to get down inside the hole, lay it down, and mark the underside. See if I have to modify something in some way for that drain hole. Since I'm adding 1.5 inches on this side, well, on each side of all the joists, make sure my drain will still clear. If not, I gotta modify the board I put in there somehow. So, let me go get that. Alright, I'm back. Got the piece of plywood here. I marked the hole inside the where the drain's going to go. I drilled just a pilot hole, just enough so I can find it. That way I can take my hole saw here, stick it up through that pilot hole, and I'll know what the clearance of the pipe's going to be. So, I also want to get magic marker. There it is. I want to mark the underside where these joists are actually at. That way I can take and cut the board, make it fit right. I hope. I'm sure I can. Alright, good news. There is plenty of room for the pipe. But there's probably not going to be enough room for the nut, so this board's going to have a suction cut out of it. Oh well. I missed one. I'm not going back under it there for another line. Yeah, I can go back outside and drill that hole. Excuse me. And cut my plywood. Alright, I got my plywood cut, and you can see there's the hole. It's quite a bit larger than what the pipe is, which it should be, because if you look here, this nut and this drain pinches against the shower pan, not against the plywood. So it had to be big enough that the nut would fit through there. And then if you notice, there's not 1.5 inches here, so I will have to notch excuse me, part of the 2x6 that I'm going to put in there. That way I can stick the nut up on there and screw it on. So that's how all that works, in case you weren't familiar. Oh, and the pipe goes up in the center, and then this here is a nut, and it screws down and it expands this here seal. Alright, so now next thing I got to cut, I'm going to cut the 2x6s that are going to go on the side of the 2x10s, and that these are going to set on these pieces of plywood. So, but before I do that, I'm actually going to measure So I'm going to measure the boards I'm going to put in here so I can cut those while I'm outside also. Well, the boards, of course, are not quite parallel, which I would not expect them to be. So I'm going to cut 3 boards, I guess. Just the way it wound up reading on this tape measure. So one's going to be cut at exactly 70, and then 72 and 74, which is pretty close to being parallel to each other. Yeah. That way they fit this a little bit tighter. Alright, I'm going to cut those boards and bring them back in. Alright, you can see I got a whole bunch of boards in here, so I've been busy cutting. I also got these 3 done. So. I have to trim that one. Forgot to do that while I'm out. Alright, so they're going to go in there something like that. So, 54 inches. 27 is the center. Yeah. And in the center of 27, 13 and a half. As you can tell, the TV's on, so my wife is watching her favorite show. If you remember what that was, because I mentioned that in an earlier video, please leave a comment below.
Yes, sir.
that to the other board when I get down there. I think nailing that made it look tighter. My hammer's outside. I just realized that I've got nothing here to support this. Got me. Copper pipe hanger was installed very well, so it doesn't want to come out, but I'll get it. Well, I guess I'll climb down there. Alright, back. I made it a little bit shorter and I beveled the starting edges. So. Big difference. Problem with that one there, looks like it's wider at the top than it is at the bottom. Well, I'm looking for that screw that I broke. I'll see it. I guess it broke off inside the 2x10. Yep, there it is. That's good. It's out of the way. I think we should different screws. That don't work. Need a battery. But I'm going to get so what my intentions are. So my intentions is to take a 3/8 piece and a 3/4 inch piece and screw it down on the boards so I can just shove it up. It's at the right, and then just nail it. That way it's 3/4 of an inch down. Just remember, I use these to adjust this board here that I was using to shave the tops of these. And I need to go 3/4 of an inch more, so that should work. But these screws are just junk.
Gal there is supposed to be in with him.
Yep. Yep, she's undercover. Alright, so I got a whole bunch of screws, so if I only get one use out of them, that's fine. They were free. Alright, so this is 54 inches. So I'm just going to move this out of my way. Move this one out now. So I just bought these today, so just bought these today, and I tried to pick out the straightest ones, and so far this here's the first one I've looked at since I've got home, and it looks okay. So I can still get that screw out. It's really important since I don't have enough templates. Shims. Whatever you want to call them. drop it down the hole. Nope, there's no way you can see what I'm doing. So, try to stick it in. The X bracing's right here. So, I'm flipping in 180. If that don't work, I gotta pull those all back apart and move them. like that. So they've been doing pretty good. Let's see. Sorry about that, folks. So, I'm going to take this board and stick it on the other side underneath this wall. Won't be able to see none, but you'll be able to hear me go boom, 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 boom. Turns out there's a screw in the way. You gotta cut the end of it off. Alright, well, I'm done for the day. Well, if you liked it, please hit the like button. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe.